Hi there guys, and welcome back to a brand new match review here on the channel. My name is James, and today we're going to go ahead and talk about the World Cup scenes as Reading have gone ahead and defeated Rotherham United by 2-1 at the Select Carlisen Stadium. That's right, the Royals have now completed 4 games unbeaten in a row as they've gone ahead and beaten Steve Evans' Rotherham United side. It's always good to get one over on Steve Evans, and it's always a good one to get one over Steve Evans, especially when the officiating has kind of gone in your favour in this game. I've got to say the referee performance today was absolutely shocking. He's missed a clear and obvious goal for Rotherham, and he's also arguably given a penalty to Reading which shouldn't have. But it's just the rub of the luck, as look, Reading have had awful referees for the entirety of the season, so it was just about time that Reading actually had a ref that was going to go ahead and give something in their favour. I've got to say, throughout the majority of the fixture as well, I thought he was absolutely on Rotherham's side. I thought so many decisions were going their way, whether it was just shoulder barges from Rotherham players not getting free kicks Reading's way, and then the same thing happens down the other end of the pitch and the referee gives a decision, whether it's Andre Garcia getting bashed into by a Rotherham player and the Rotherham player going down, but the referee giving the free kick. It was a real strange one. I think the referee was... Look, Reading benefited the most from this referee today, but overall, he has had an absolute shocker. Well, I can't wait to watch the Steve Evans post-game match interview, as look, the man gets rattled anytime anything doesn't go his way. So look, the fact that this has cost him a point, or well, even 3 points here, it's going to be brilliant to watch. Either way though, in terms of the starting lineup that Reading went ahead and went with, it was unchanged from the real dull and real flat performance that we had against Shrewsbury. Joel Pereira was the man in between the sticks, and just in front of him was Michael Craig, Tyler Bindon, Amadou Mbenge and Andre Garcia. The midfield three of Lewis Wing, Charlie Savage and Harvey Knibbs continued to play, with Kelvin Ehibachiman and Chem Campbell being out wide, and up front was Jaden Wareham. Now, like we said, that performance against Shrewsbury was quite flat and Reading were quite poor in that game, but this was the complete opposite, as I thought this fixture actually saw Reading have one of their better performances of 2025. I've got to say, this is probably, for me, in terms of what I've seen, one of the best that Reading have looked under Noel Hunt. And it all started in the first couple of minutes as Reading had multiple chances to go 1-0 up. Some good work down the right-hand side, saw a ball be played across, and Reading had a corner within the first minute. From the resulting corner, the ball eventually got recycled out to Charlie Savage, who had a long-range strike, and forced the goalkeeper to tip it over the crossbar. 10 minutes in, Reading had another massive opportunity, and once again, it was some good work down the right-hand side. The ball came to Michael Craig, who played a real low cross across the face of goal, and Jaden Wareham was just inches, just centimetres away from tapping it into the back of the net, but Phillips in the goal didn't have to do anything. Well, 24 minutes on the clock, he did have to do something, and, well, unfortunately for him, it wasn't enough. Kelvin Ehibachiman down the left-hand side for Reading managed to have a shot and it hit the post. The ball eventually found its way to Jaden Wareham, who was the quickest to react, and he had a shot which was saved by Phillips in the goal of Rotherham, but for Reading, luckily, again the ball came out, and Harvey Knibbs was the quickest one to react and put the ball in the back of the net from close range, putting the Royals 1-0 up. I think this might have been Knibbs' 10th goal of the season, but he eventually got his 11th towards the back end. But it's fantastic to see from central midfield that Harvey Knibbs is chipping in with loads of goals. It was that darting run, that late run into the box that saw him manage to get this one, and it's great to see Knibbs score. As always, giving it all with the badge. It's great to see the transfer window's now shut, so we know he can't go anywhere, so it's good to see him slapping that badge once again. Reading then had another opportunity just a little bit later. It was 34 minutes on the clock, and once again, it was some good work down the right-hand side. This time it came from Michael Craig, who backheeled the ball to Lewis Wing. Lewis Wing, from a real tight angles, had actually a shot at goal, and I think the goalkeeper might have just had a touch on it, but either way, it's hit the post and just gone back into play. It hit the inside of the post, and Wing wasn't able to score. Reading were really unlucky not to go 2-0 up here, and they were quite lucky, arguably, from some Rotherham fans' perspectives, to go into the half-time break 1-0 up. It actually came as Jordan Hugill put the ball in the back of the Reading net, but he pulled Tyler Bindon back, and for me it was a foul, and for most of the Reading fans it would be a foul, but for a few Rotherham fans they don't see it as a foul, they see it as a bit soft. I can understand that, but at the same time, he's pulled Bindon back, and the goal has been disallowed. Just on the stroke of half-time as well, Reading had a big shout for a penalty. It was Jaden Wareham that went over. Look, it's one of them ones, if it's given against you, you're absolutely fuming. But if you get it, you're not going to complain. Watching the replays, I think Wareham's gone down a little bit easy, but for me, I shouted for it in the stadium because I thought it was an obvious penalty. But looking back on it, it's a little bit weak from Jaden Wareham, unfortunately. The second half, though, came out and Reading looked a little bit sluggish. There was a lot of energy, I've got to say, at the start. But after that, Rotherham just took over in the start of the second half, and on 56 minutes they managed to get an equaliser. It came from a few opportunities that Reading failed to clear away, a few corners were played in, and eventually a shot was taken, and Jaden Wareham handled the ball on the right-hand side of the Reading box, and Sam Nom was the man to step up and take the penalty, and he slotted it away. Gave a little bit to Joel Pereira afterwards, with Joel Pereira like to play mind games before every penalty, and he managed to equalise for Rotherham. And look, really, Rotherham should have had another goal just a couple of minutes later. 60 minutes on the clock and they had a goal ruled out. This, for me, was an absolutely awful decision. Now, it's gone down as an offside against Sam Nom, but I don't understand how. It was Joe Powell, who's had the shot on the left-hand side for Rotherham, and it looks to like the linesman has given it as Sam Nom has interfered with play. It's actually taken a deflection off Amadou Mbenge and gone into the back of the net. And the goal's been ruled out for offside as they think Sam Nom's touched it. Reading have got away with one just a little bit there. I'm not going to complain and I'm not going to touch on it too much from there. After that, Reading started to get back into this fixture and started to create some opportunities of their own. Andre Garcia, who for me had a good game today on the left-hand side, he had a strike from 25 yards out and forced Phillips to make a good save. Kamara on 68 minutes as well, he forced him to make a good save as well. And Charlie Savage's shot, which looked goal-bound, was just deflected wide. And then Michael Craig as well had another opportunity just outside the box, but again, a deflection took it out for a Reading corner. I've got to say, in terms of individual performances today, there was a few players that shined for me in blue and white. Michael Craig was fantastic. I thought Andre Garcia had a very good game too. And I've also got to say a big credit to Charlie Savage. I'm very quick to jump on Charlie Savage when he's had a poor game, but I'm also very quick to jump when he's had a good game. I thought Savage absolutely bossed the midfield for Reading today, and I've got to say it was one of his best performances for me in a Reading shirt. On 88 minutes, though, Reading were very lucky as substitute Malik Wilkes went through on goal, but forced Joel Pereira to make a good save. In the 90th minute, again, Reading had another opportunity. It was Lewis Wing that struck from distance, but Phillips saved once again for the Millers. But then in the 93rd minute, Reading found themselves with a penalty. And look, maybe it was just unlucky Sam Smith that had to be sold for Reading to be able to get penalties again. I've got to say for this one, it was minimal contact, but Reading have managed to get this penalty decision. It was Harvey Knibbs that was fouled in the box, and it was Harvey Knibbs that stepped up. I've got to say, Reading had a fantastic game plan when the penalty was taken. Charlie Savage did this as well against Bolton, where he is stood on the penalty spot waiting with the ball in his hand. He's taken all the abuse from Phillips in the goal of Rotherham. But guess what? It was Knibbs that was taking the penalty. No mind games at all for Harvey Knibbs. He stepped up, he slotted it in the bottom left-hand corner, and has sent Reading fans into them World Cup winning celebrations. It was absolutely fantastic, and it was massive 3 points for the Royals as we held on and due to the 90th minute winner. And I've got to say, after that, with the win, it's put me in a positive feel. It was a much better performance from Reading today and a much more better attacking performance. I've got to say, the last few weeks, Reading have been very stale going forward, but today they created a lot of opportunities and a lot of shots on goal, which for me was one of the biggest things that I was fearing with this Noel Hunt side. With the win, Reading have stayed in 9th position, but are now on 49 points. There's just 1 point between 9th and 6th, though, and there's just 3 points away from Huddersfield in 5th. But the most important thing that has been established is that there is now a 6-point gap between Reading and Barnsley in 9th and 10th. So it looks like there's a little bit of breathing room now between Reading as part of the chasing pack and the playoff position. So look, it's a very important game next week against Birmingham. I don't expect a result at all. Anything is a bonus. But you never know with this Reading side, and you never know with football. But overall, that's 8 points now out of the last 12 for Reading. The performances haven't been fantastic, but look, 4 goals scored, 2 conceded, and there's 4 matches unbeaten for Noel Hunt's side after losing 3 in a row. Hunt's massively turning it around. I've got to say fair play to him. Look, the performance isn't always there, and I will stick by that. But he's getting the results. So a big fair play to Noel and his coaching staff, especially with the limited resources that they've got at the moment. That's going to be it for this one today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. My name's been James, and like we say, it's fantastic to get a win over Steve Evans. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.